You ready? Oh, do we have an apron? No aprons. Didn't someone give you an apron? Where's the one that my mom used to have? Oh. How can we not have an apron? I want one too. Okay. The clock is very loud. I can't go like this. That doesn't make sense. Hello and what? No, but I've forgotten the name. They chewy and? Hello and welcome back to another cooking vlog. Here we are ready to make some chunky chocolate sweet potato cookies. These are going to be amazing. Now, I was told, before we even get started on all the ingredients over here, to put a quick disclaimer at the beginning of the video, saying that these are going to be soft and chewy, not hard and crunchy. So they're sort of more like brownies than cookies, but they're going to look like cookies. And taste better than both. Now, let's get started on the ingredients. We've got everything we're going to be needing here. I'm going to start on the right, oats. We are using Jungle Oats. I think that's pretty much just the brand name. I think that you can use almost any type of oats, and you can also, if you want to, use normal flour. We're going to use oats. We're going to be blending them into flour because that's just both healthier and it adds a nicer taste to the actual cookies themselves. But if you don't have oats at hand, if you don't want to go through the effort of blending them to make the flour, then you can just use normal brown flour or even white flour if you want. It'll probably work exactly the same. Then we've got 1 egg over here. We've got 3 sweet potatoes. Now these, I've just got 3 here in case. I think it might even be too much. The amount that we're going to need is 1 cup of sweet potato. So that's 1 cup. I'm going to be measuring them. I've got a handy little digital kitchen scale over here. That's Helene's. Get out of here. I will weigh them and tell you how much it's going to be in grams, but we're going to work on 1 cup of sweet potato. Now we're not going to have it in there raw, so I'm going to be poking these things with my knife. I must do this carefully. I don't want to poke in my hand to make sure they don't explode or anything in the microwave, and then I'm going to microwave them so they can be like nice and soft, so I can mash them into the cup. I'm just doing this right now so I can put them in the microwave so they can get good and done while we're busy with the rest of this stuff. Now for these 3, I'd guesstimate that they take about 7 to 10 minutes in the microwave to get cooked. So I'm going to do that right now. I washed them. You can peel them if you want, if you're allergic to the skin. And I don't mean real allergic, I mean if you don't want to eat dirt or anything like that. Because you never know, okay? Sometimes we buy sweet potatoes that are so caked in dirt that it's just not cool. Now I put it in the microwave, 100% power. I'm going 10 minutes. They can just do their own thing over there. And we're getting back to the rest of the ingredients. We've got some cinnamon here. Not going to need a lot. I think it's literally like 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You're not going to really taste the cinnamon that much. Then the 2 other main ingredients, cocoa powder. The amount is a 1/4 cup. A 1/4 cup or 20 grams pure unsweetened cocoa powder. That's once again up to you. If you want to use different cocoa powder, you can. I know there are different varieties and types. Then the dark chocolate. We've got cooking dark chocolate discs. I would recommend getting something more lavish. Get some 85% pure dark chocolate from Lindt. That would be so much better. But these were much cheaper, so we went with them. You need 100 grams worth of dark chocolate, I think. This pack says 150 grams, but I think Helene already ate the other 50 grams. It's basically 1 slab of dark chocolate. And Helene probably didn't eat the rest of them. They're lying around here somewhere. I have to say that. Constantly ate them. Then there's some brown sugar over here. You can use white sugar if you want. I think that brown sugar would just be a more fitting taste. This is... Oh, the amount. I forget myself. Let's see how much it is first. Wait. I don't even see the sugar on here. Sweetener of choice. Oh. So you can use honey or sweetener or sugar or anything else that you got on hand, and it says here that it's to taste. So you're just going to put in as much as you think you need, and you can taste the mixture. So once we're busy with it, once we've actually got it all in the same bowl over here, then I'm going to be tasting it and just making sure it's sweet enough. Not too sweet though. Then we've got some coconut oil here. I'm also just going to go ahead and assume you can use canola oil as well. Yes, 2 teaspoons of coconut oil or canola. Does it say canola there? We can use coconut oil because it's going to taste much better. And then there's baking powder. Where's the baking powder? It's not here. I know where it is. Don't even worry, it's in the cupboard. You know what? This is the bulk pack, but that's not the one that we had set up for it. I know we got more baking powder here somewhere. It's just hiding. It comes in a little tin. No! No, baking powder. That doesn't matter. We'll use it straight from the bag. Then, salt. Very little. Not a lot of salt at all. And I think that's it. I think we've covered it all. Did I mention the egg? 1 egg. I will have a little slide-in bar info window coming in that'll have all the ingredients listed, and I will also put them in the description of the video because I'm not very good at explaining all of it, or at least listing all of it, because it just confuses me. There's way too much text on this page. It's overwhelming. Now, we're going to get started. Preheat oven to 175 degrees. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to start heating the oven when we actually got the mixture ready to go in the pan. Here's the pan. And I'll get to how big or how many it's going to make when we actually forming them into little balls, because we're not entirely sure, and that also depends on how big you want them. You can make them slightly bigger, but then they're going to be more moist. You can make them slightly smaller, they'll be a little crispier, maybe a bit harder. I don't know, it's up to you, but I'm guessing it'll make 12 to 15, 12 to 16. If you make them really small, maybe 20. We'll see. Now, in a large mixing bowl, whisk together the dry ingredients. Then add the chocolate chunks and mix well. So, let us begin. We need to blend this first. So, this is going to be an adventure by itself. I'm not going to be able to blend this all at the same time, but I must tell you that this is one of the best discoveries we've ever made using oats as a replacement for flour, because it just tastes so much better. I'm a huge fan of oats. I have oats nearly every morning, and being able to grind it up and use it instead of flour just makes whatever you're making that much better. So this is going to be messy. That's actually why we have this thing here. I'm so fancy. These sick moves while cooking. To make sure it doesn't pop out. It's good. I'm also going to guess that if you don't want to grind this up too much, you could use the oats as they are now, but your cookies are not going to be, they probably won't mix as well. The consistency just won't be the same. Ooh, that is looking really good. And it's a bit of a mystery, isn't it? It's a bit of a mystery, because you can't see what's going on down here. I'm going to keep it hidden for like a little bit longer. Now the big reveal. Ta-da! I'm not done yet. Wait. Wow, that is looking really good. It's quite fine. So we're going to do this with all the oats we have. Make sure they're good and blended. Make sure we don't mess too much, because Eileen doesn't want to clean it. There. That looks done. And done. Perfect. So like I said, if there are... I think I can just toss that straight in there now. No. I can't. Has it already been measured? 2 cups. It looks like it's been measured. It's 2 cups or 200 grams of oats blended into flour. But that's the gram amount there is for raw oats. Okay, so your measurements might be a little bit different. Keep that in mind. Rather go with 2 cups if you can. Let's toss that in there. It's looking really good. We're going to put the bowl over here for now. No, that's in the way. Put it over there for now. So you can have a look at it if you want. And then let's get the rest of that in there. It's like real, genuine flour. Ooh. We should actually go into business. Buy oats in bulk, blend it ourselves by hand, and then sell it as homemade oat flour. Eileen, I think we're going to do that. Make a fortune. They won't know. They won't know that we just blend in jungle oats. And we'll be rich. Man. This old blender is struggling with the oats here. It's fine. So we've had this thing for like 10 years and it's still working. I don't see it stopping right now. Okay, so we're busy getting the dry ingredients in there. That's all the oats. Ooh, that's looking very nice. I like it. Then, the other dry ingredients. So, fortunately, the cocoa powder, 1/4 cup, has already been measured for me. I can just toss it right in there. Easy as that. The rest of them, I can actually just look what's dry here and throw it in. Cinnamon. This is not going to be quite as easy. The amount, once again, just to make sure everyone knows, and I know, is a 1/2 teaspoon. That is this right here. We're going to make sure it's level. Don't want this tasting too much like cinnamon. And it's in. Then, flour is in. I wish I could just draw stripes through these to make sure I know what's in and what's not. Sweetener of choice. So, the sweetener of choice, should I add it now or should I wait? I think we'll add it when we got everything in, and then we'll at least know, because we'll be able to taste if it's sweet enough or not. Baking powder. 3/4 teaspoon. That is a very difficult amount. That just means I can use this plus this. No, that's half and half. Okay, these things are broken. Oh, this is 1/2 tablespoon. That's 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, fine. 3/4 teaspoon. Simple enough. So we're going level, and then we're going to put 1/2 of this in. There you go. That's a 1/2. Perfect. I can get rid of this stuff because it's taking up space here. We can get rid of the oats. It's taking up space here. Here we go. Our sweet potatoes are done. Shall we check on them? Are they done? Whoa! They most surely are. This one is, well, this one's maybe not so done, but it's okay. Plate is a little bit hot, but it's fine. I'm a man like that. I carry hot plates all the time. Now, let's see about this salt quickly. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Once again, that's a 1/2 of this. This is difficult salt to get open. Chill, egg. Chill. Nero, my boy, have you come to help? He's not quite as excited about these because, as you know, from the Oreo advert, chocolate isn't good for dogs. Is that... Oh, this is difficult. We don't want no salty, chunky chocolate sweet potato cookies. So let's skimp on the salt. That's enough. It's in. Put it aside. Perfect. Now, we're going to be doing the sweet potato thing in just a moment. We're going to mix this first. I've got a big mixing spoon here somewhere. Have we got all the dry ingredients in there? Cocoa powder, cinnamon, baking powder, salt, flour of choice, sweetener of choice, but that's going to go in at the end just because we want to make sure, and that's it. So we're going to mix this, then we're going to add the chocolate chips. Now, the chocolate chips is again something, as I said, that you can figure out yourself. If you really want to, you can probably put milk chocolate in, but it kind of defeats the point or the purpose of this, of it being this dark chocolate taste and flavor. The cocoa is already such a strong taste, and the sweet potato is actually just there to give it the consistency and that chewiness. It's not going to give it that much flavor. It's going to taste more like chocolate than like sweet potato. And when the sweet potatoes are concerned, I think you can use any variety that you want. We are using white sweet potatoes, or I think these might be yellow, I'm not even sure. We've got so many of them lying around here, let's look. Well, they're somewhere in between. But you can use any type of sweet potato. Their tastes are very similar anyway. And I don't know, I suppose most people would have access to the white ones, more so than the others. Now, fortunately, once again, this has been measured very meticulously for me. The chocolate, a slab of chocolate. That's what you're going to go for, but you know, we're using about 100 grams. I don't know how much slabs actually are, and I was told to just sort of crush them a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to do that by hand, or maybe I'll just use the blender. There you go. Not too fine though, so I'm going to like just go a few times like this. We'll have some fine pieces, some slightly bigger pieces. These are discs. And they're kind of tasty. There we go. Probably not right. Let's just do it like this. I'm going for pieces like that because, you know, when you're biting into a cookie, it's nice actually tasting the chocolate. Some people really skimp on the chocolate chips in the chocolate chip cookies, and those people should not be allowed to make cookies at all. Because we like our chocolate chips. There needs to be a good lot of them in them cookies. So put them in like this. Make sure your hands are clean when you do it, else you're not going to enjoy eating that too much. And make sure you don't miss either. So the recipe says, add the chocolate chunks, not chips. It's supposed to be chunks. And stir or mix well. Then comes the exciting part. Then we're going to add the sweet potato, coconut oil, and egg. That's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun trying to squeeze that sweet potato into the cup measure. Look at that, that's perfect. Get in there. This is all perfect. That might be a little bit too big, but, you know, we're going with it. Helene actually told me before, don't mess this up. I'm really looking forward to these cookies. So there's a lot of pressure on me right now. Pressure to perform in the kitchen. That's looking good. Really good. This is me mixing well. And I'm in the light. Now. Glorious. Let's get started on the sweet potato. I left the skin on because the skin is probably the healthiest part. So if you can wash it well enough, I recommend leaving the skin on. And again, we are going to just cut it up a little bit and then squeeze it into that bowl to get a sort of accurate measurement. And I made a bit extra. I think I might have too much here, but that's fine because I don't mind eating me some sweet potato. I'm going to be using my hands here anyway because I think Helene told me that the mixing will have to occur. Yeah, this is like way too much sweet potato. I just have to mash it in first before we can really... Wait, I'm forgetting something. We want to weigh it. So We're going to first just check what this thing weighs. Whew. 75 grams, or at least 73. But now we know this is 75 grams. I'm going to 75, it's easier to remember. And then we can work out, do some math on the fly, what this whole cup of sweet potato weighs. If you want, you can double up on the recipe. I would have loved to have done that. But you know, it just wasn't meant to be today. We don't have enough ingredients. This should be enough. No, wait, you know, this whole thing is going to go in there. I'll make it fit. Oh, hey, this is perfect. So there you go. You know, that little piece there needs to be dealt with. This is so tasty. Now we're looking at a flat cut. I could actually put more in here, but I don't want to jeopardize the consistency of our chunky chocolate sweet potato cookies. She's pointing over there at something. Did I miss something? Are the chocolate chips the right size? Let's have a look. More chocolate chips. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say no to that. Let's find them. Where did she put them? They've got to be in here somewhere. Oh, that's not them. Easy they come in. What's happening? I got him. I got him. You know, ooh, Nero, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little man. I'm not going to pat you now because I'm working with food. The lady says more chocolate chips. I say yay. Let's do it. So, here we go. Whew. This is the best idea she's had all day. Never mind making a cooking vlog. No, no, this is a much better idea. Doubling up on the chocolate chips. So I think in adding that we've added about an extra 40 grams or so. Because we ate, it wasn't 50 grams, she's telling me 50, but we ate a couple of them. Don't come and lie here. But that's it. Now, this thing itself weighed 75. So we had about 310. That means that 300 minus that, so we had 225 grams. Roundabout of sweet potato. Let me just mix this well first. Gotta be following the recipe. Oh, look at Nero over there. You gotta show Nero at the door. He's so handsome. He's so handsome. He's just showing us that he's ever vigilant, on watch. Now here comes the fun part. Add sweet potato, coconut oil, and egg, mix well. Now, this is not coconut oil. It's quite solid, but it will be oil shortly. The amount that we're going to be working with is, once again, 2 teaspoons. Let's see. Is it 2 tablespoons? That's what she was trying to tell me earlier. The capital T means tablespoon. That's a tablespoon. That's a lot of coconut oil. That's not a tablespoon. That's like a really huge amount. She's showing me to use this. Half a tablespoon. Much easier to measure with this. Right on, girl. Right on. I don't know why I'm using this huge one. Hold on. Let me just clean it up. Put it aside. In there. And then I'll just do the scooping with this one. There. It's not so hard. This is the most amazing stuff ever. We actually bought this at first because we were giving it, a little bit of it, to Nero and his food. Because he had dry skin back in the day. And well, this sorted him out. Truly it did. Let's use this to get it out. There. Come now. Into the bowl. So that's a half. Wow, gotta do this 3 more times. I'm excited. Let's get started. There we go. I don't want to get too much in here because you don't know. There, that looks good. It's another one. Perfect. And once I've got it all in here, this smells so good. Our smelloscope is not installed, so you're not going to be able to get the aroma yourself. But really, if you get the opportunity, get yourself some of this and just spend a good amount of time sniffing it. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean. So there, one more after this, then we're done. That's fine. And then we'll pop it in the microwave. I'm sure that overseas, in whichever country you're from, that's not South Africa, you'll be able to find proper coconut oil for a reasonable price. Here, however, no. We don't find any of that good stuff. So we're stuck with this. That costs way too much. There. We good? I'm not going to lick that. That'll be way too intense. We are good. This is going to go in the microwave now. I'm not even sure for how long. 30 seconds is probably going to be too long. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Make sure we don't overcook our coconut. Nero's coming to check on me. Yes, Daddy. No mistakes now. You've done so well so far. No, 30 seconds might be okay. Might need another 10 seconds. It's not working. Hold on. Need some time. Let that go. We're going to toss the egg in here so long. And the sweet potato. So bad at cracking eggs. I know there are people out there that can do it with one hand, but I can't. I know I can't. And this edge seems really bad for doing it with, but I'm going to try it anyway. Here we go. Hey, that was okay. There. It's in. It's in. It's too late now. Okay. Throw that away. Wash these old things. Okay. And it's still not really melted. I'm going to give it some more time. 20 seconds more should be fine. Then, the sweet potato. It's all going in here. I'm going to be using this spoon to stir it anyway. So, get out. Whew. I stuffed so much into this cup. I think somehow I managed to get a cup and a half into the cup. Because look at all that sweet potato. Wow. These are going to be so good. Let's go check on this. There. That is much, much better. See? It's liquid now. Exactly how we want it. This is probably going to be really hot. She said use your hands. I'm going to use the spoon a little bit before I start using my hands. Because I am, quite honestly, afraid. Here we go. Do we have everything in? Let's close this. Get out of the way. I think so. Now it's just the sugar still. And as I said before, you can use something else. We have actually got some sweetener here somewhere, which is the healthy sweetener. I'm not sure what the name is of it. I suppose one could use that, but that would once again just be very expensive if you end up using a lot of it. So I'm guessing brown or white sugar would be best. And I don't even know how honey would work in here either. That could be interesting. Could be interesting. I'm going to have to use my hands to mix this. I can see it. It's one of those situations where you got to go like... Let's do it. Wait, let's do it. It can't be hot now. This is not working out. Okay, I suppose I can just use my hand to clean that. Oof. Look at that. Getting it all off there. It's looking like a chocolate brownie mix, isn't it? So here we go. Ooh, it's quite nice. It's feeling really good. The consistency is exactly what I wanted from it. And the only thing I still need to add is the sugar. But I don't know how I'm really going to be able to... I suppose I'm going to have to sprinkle it Ooh, it smells nice. Very lightly over the top here, so that I can get it all over the place and make sure I just dig this up from the bottom. My technique could use some work. It really could, but you know what? I'm getting the job done. And right now, that's all that matters. There we go. So, this is a good shoulder workout. That's it. It's looking really good. Now I need to somehow get my hands cleaned up a little bit so that I can look at this. So that I can handle the sugar. But I think that handling the sugar is not going to be too much of a mish, because I'm just going to pop it open, which I should have done before, and then pour. Pouring sugar is never a good idea. Maybe I'll pour into... there's no measuring cup here. I'm just going to pour. So let's go like this. Sprinkle rather. Sprinkle. Let's go like this. And then mix a little bit more. There. And then mix, and then we're going to taste it. I'm so hungry right now. We haven't eaten yet. This is such a bad idea. Now, as you can see from the amount, it's not going to make like a batch of 30 cookies or something, unless you make them like really small. But then you won't be able to cook them properly in the oven because they might burn and you have to watch them like a hawk. So you're going to get like, as I said before, I think like 12 to 16 out of this, which I think is okay. I think that's fine. And the reason we added the sugar afterwards is because it is something that each person is going to have to do for themselves or decide on for themselves. Let's see. It tastes really good, but I think we could do with more sugar. It's a little bit strong. Which is the idea. You know what? Not too much more sugar. I think we're nearly there. Like literally a little bit. Little bit extra. Something like that. There. That should be fine. What do you think, camera lady? Maybe I should add more? No, I think we're good. But maybe I should let her taste it. That's a good idea. Making a little ball, a little bite-sized chunk here. There you go. I need another opinion. I'm not confident enough in the kitchen to make this call all by my lonesome. The second I get her approval, and we'll continue, we'll spray the pan and we'll put them on there. Okay, she says it's good. Now that's confidence in the kitchen right there. Confidence I don't have. Here's the pan. I should have actually pre-sprayed it because my hands are so dirty, but it's fine. You know, getting chunky chocolate sweet potato cookies on everything, it's not so bad. It really isn't, because they smell incredibly good. The extra sweet potato, you can just eat. It was incredibly good. Incredibly good. That's a good batch that we got. Wow. There. Okay. Now, I'm going to turn the oven on because we didn't want to waste any power by having it standing on. That's terrible. That spray. It's a bit much, and I shouldn't be carrying this around. Now, 175 degrees Celsius. I'm turning it on. I'm using my knuckles here. And it's not working. It's not... Okay, it's done. It's done. There's chocolate all over this knob. It's finished. 175. That's not looking good. I was going to say I don't have to clean it, but something tells me I might have to. So, I'm going to roll it into a little ball. This is my technique when it comes to making cookies. Like that. That's probably too big, actually. A little bit less. then you roll it into a ball, you put it on the tray, and then you squash it flat a little bit. Is that okay? Yes. Yes, it is. That ball might be too big still. Don't have to be too precise here. Something like that. Okay? It's going to spread out a little bit. And it doesn't have to be too neat. You could make it incredibly neat, if that's your thing. If you can handle it. But we don't really care. As long as it tastes good, which it does, it's fine. It's perfect. I'm hoping I'm leaving enough space. I don't think they spread out too much, but that seems to be about right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack the rest of these out on the tray, then I'm going to pop it in the oven once that's done. But I suppose, you know, we could just do this all right now and see how many we actually get out of this. I think I might have been wrong. I think we might get more than I expected out of here. And once I've got it all in the tray, I'm going to pop it in the oven. We're going to stop recording because we're not going to wait around. They say bake 10 to 12 minutes, then allow it to cool before eating. So we're not going to be recording for 10 to 12 minutes while we wait for it. We're going to stop the recording and start again once they're ready. So we'll see you in 10 to 12 minutes. But actually, we'll see you in like a half a second. Because, as I said, we're not going to be showing those 10 to 12 minutes. There are 28. Wait, hold on. Okay, so as you can see, it made way more than just 12 cookies. We didn't have more mixture, no, we just made them a little bit smaller. There are 28 in total here, but these seem to be a decent size, a consumable size. Perfect. Now we're going to shove them in the oven, and it's going to take us 10 to 12 minutes of waiting before we can feast. And I suppose once they come out, they're actually going to be a little bit too soft and obviously too hot. I don't know if that's the right spot in the oven. That'll do. That'll do. They're going to be a little bit too soft to actually eat immediately, so I would suggest popping them in the fridge, or just putting them on your counter or something like that. You know, it should be fine. We actually froze a whole bunch of these, so we made a huge batch of them just before Guild Wars 2's launch, and then we unfroze them on launch day, and we ate. Oh boy, did we eat. Now we're gonna wait, and you can check back here soon to see the end result. That's it. We're done. So here we are, ready to take them out. It's been about, I know we said at first 10 to 12 minutes, but I think we left them in for about 16 to 20 minutes to make sure we could get them extra crispy on top. I think that's also just sort of your own preference, because if you leave them in for longer, then they're going to be a little bit more dry. If you take them out almost immediately, then you will have them much more moist and much more chewy, I guess. Never mind the pork shoulder in the bottom. That's how I did it. So, here we are. Oof. And I want Helene to zoom in nicely on that so you can see the chocolate chips. They're only just melted, and you can still see the chunks of sweet potato all over the place. And from what I can tell, these are more solid than the previous batch we made because of the fact that we used the oat flour instead of normal brown flour. I don't even know what that was. Whole wheat flour I think we used last time. And in my opinion, these came out much better. So they're like cookies now. They are, however, much softer and much better tasting. Also healthier. Look at them. They are absolutely magnificent. Check back in with more recipes. Please let us know if any of you guys tried this out and what you changed when you made it yourself. You can tell us what flour you used, tell us what kind of chocolate you used, and tell us how it came out. Was it amazing? Was it a flop? Let us know. We're obviously always interested. But again, check back with more. Most importantly though, it's hot. Very importantly though, it tastes so much like a brownie. Wow. Happy, amazing chocolate sweet potato cookies. Happy that. I can't stop eating it now. It's very hot though. Happy that. She's still recording. The scene of the crime.